I'm start recording now.
Okay, and welcome to the first Dirtnap patch note analysis. So I'm RG Decade. For you guys who don't know me, I am part of Team Rage. I'm your host. I'm joined by my co-host who's recording this right now, Nihilius. And for insight on these patch notes, I've brought along Kick the Money and PK. Hey guys, come on.
Raw.
Hey, what's up?
All right, all right, all right. So we all have the patch notes, right? PK, you got them?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull them up right now.
I got them in
So
front of me.
probably what everyone else is mind right now. I think it's probably the biggest. It's probably the new champion, Hecarim. I know everyone's pumped for that champion. I mean, guy with a centaur, undead. Who don't want that? It's fun. So, let's go through his abilities and we'll discuss mounts, see how we go, and how we feel if he's gonna be viable or not and competitive or just all around a fun champ. So his first ability is Warpath. Hecarim ignores unit collision, gains attack damage equal to a percentage of his movement speed. What do you guys think about it as a passive? Is it decent, viable?
Wait, are you gonna talk about each ability or like the
Well,
hero as a whole?
well, it's ability first, and then everything, I guess, in general.
It's like a pretty boring passive. It's just like
I don't know. It depends on what's the ratio. Like, what's gonna be the ratio? Is it gonna be like, it's just, what's the max damage you can gain from max
Yeah.
attack movement
I
speed?
definitely say the numbers are going to be a big part of it, but do you think that's going to change rune setup? Do you think there's going to be any move sequence that are going to be run on him? Are we going
Well,
to see like any
I mean,
kind of really weird rune setup?
it seems like you'd run move sequence him anyway, regardless. Like even if you didn't have this passive. But I mean, the good thing about his passive is ignores unit collision, which is gonna be really good for him because he seems like ex- he can like run through creeps and gank people better. So that's good.
well, it's like movement speed quints and movement speed masters are already like widely used. So like
Yeah.
with this, just
Yeah.
kind of like an extra bonus to that.
How you feel about it, PK? What do you think?
Um,
And
I don't really think it's that great of a passive. I still think that like you can't really build movement speed on him without really doing a lot of damage. It's going to be moving away from the standard build, which you have to build on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So move on to his next ability. Now, this is where I think he's going to get most of his engagement on. He's got devastating charges. The movement speed increase, deals physical damage, scales off of it, and is a really low mana cost. All around, great spell to initiate, kind of similar to Volibear, Rush, and Singe, kind of movement speed buff he gets from his ultimate. What do you guys think about that? Plus, he flings back. That's my favorite part.
well,
I
it's
mean, it
come.
sounds to me. Okay, go ahead.
No, no, it's fine. Go. I'll be
It
nice.
sounds kind of like Rammus, like style ganks, like you sit in the bush, get your speed a little high, and then run in and gank someone. Except the thing he has an advantage over Rammus can't go through creeps, but with his passive, he's like able to go straight through creeps.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice. I mean, you can just basically like if you auto select the enemy as a target, you can just run in straight through the creeps, ignore them, pick them up without having minions coming the way. How do you feel about it, Nihilius? What do you think is like a good initiating spell? Do you think it's good?
It's
Viable?
like I don't know. I don't really know. Like, is that knockup going to be enough to actually do anything? Is my question. Like, we have to see. To be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. Like the distance will matter too. How far they get knocked back. That's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
huge. Like
I
if
mean,
it's like equivalent to Alistar headbutt, oh man, that'd be ridiculous.
Well, I
probably not.
doubt. I highly doubt that. It's going to be like the Rambus knockup, which is going to be like really small.
It doesn't say how much move speed is gonna gain. It says increases move speed over four
For 4 seconds.
seconds.
4 seconds is
Or
long. No.
okay, 4. I don't know if he gets more move speed the longer he charges like Rammus or just has
Or it's going to be like
uh
Udyr, or like Udyr, which is like a passive one.
Yeah, like which is like
uh,
the movement speed buff continually.
Yeah.
Oh no, either one doesn't sound bad. I think the movement speed
I
buff is
mean
gonna help.
It's nice.
it
Like,
mixes the two things though, because you can use it to engage and gank people, but you can also use it to escape. So
but I think it's
it's
not
good
that.
for like stalking.
But I doubt
Also,
that.
your passive also makes the skill give you attack damage while you use it.
Yeah, but one of the things you need to know is it's like it's kind of like a skill shot. It's not that you click it like Udyr and then run around wherever you want, because it has a range of 300. So it's
We'll see.
Wait,
yeah,
it's got a range?
yeah.
It's got a range. It's really weird. Yeah, I noticed that before. Um, so We have Onslaught of Shadows.
That's the ulti?
That's his ulti. Well, that's the next on the list anyway. Range unknown at the moment, so we don't have it on the Lil Pro. Patch that's been released from PUBG, and its ultimate is a blind dash ability. Summon spectral riders, dealing magic damage anyone who they go through. So it seems like there's no diminishing return on the ability, so you're going to get dealt with the damage. It says it's all enemy champions. And then it says releases a shockwave upon reaching the distance that he's supposed to go. And then sounds like a fear, because it says that enemies are fleeing away. So we may have a fear on the ability.
I saw the video, and they do get feared. Like,
Yeah.
I think. Oh, go on. Sorry.
They do get feared. They do, in fact, get feared.
Yeah, I think Fear's one of the most broken it's like, when Fiddlesticks was pretty strong at the time when he was at his peak. Nocturne was pretty good with the Fear. And then we have Shaco, also really strong. It's just a lot. All the champions who have Fear at one point have been really
Yeah, Fear's can be pretty horseshit sometimes, and sometimes it can like actually help you. So it's kind of got some like randomness to it, but I mean, it looks like it's really good for initiating. I think that's the main point of the ability.
Yeah,
and
you can
that's
decide, like, if you have
pretty good damage actually, like 500 base damage level 5. And
Yeah.
it's got really good ratio. Like it's got a 1.2 magic ratio.
Yeah. So you think that'll make people build AP on him or AD?
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna see AP.
Kick? Will we see AP? Tell us, please.
See you next tournament. Yeah, when we see you next tournament, will you be running AP Hecarim?
Okay.
I don't know. He's only got 2 abilities. Well, let's go to his next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rampage. This is his cleave ability everyone's been talking about. It's kind of similar for you guys who don't know what a cleave is. It is a ability similar to Renekton. AoE really small damage, huge physical damage burst, scales off of AD. If it hits an enemy, it gets a stack, and that reduces the cooldown. And the stack debuff stacks twice. So, I don't know. 25 mana cost, pretty cheap. Range is kind of short, though.
Well, I think
Really short cooldown. It's got a really short cooldown. It's kind of have like it has kind of like a chain gun effect. Like you hit it once, it's got a kind of a long cooldown, but you keep doing it, the cooldown gets lower and lower, so you start like spinning around and killing people really fast.
Yeah.
If you can like stick on someone.
I want.
This is like the reason he's really good at jungling. People played him at Jax because like he clears really fast with this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to see is like how fast you will clear camps using Rampage. Because I think like 25 mana costs pretty much nothing, and it does a lot.
I mean, you could start at red. It sounds like you go with that kind of skill set. I mean, you use Devastating Charge and evolve with Rampage. I think you pretty much score yourself a kill at level 2.
Pretty much.
What do you think, PK?
Personally, I think like with the jungling, you only have to like if he jungles, you only have to level Onslaught once, and he's gonna kind of be like an Alistar ganker where he'll push them kind of into you and then set up for a CC, because like it seems that his like build with like Rampage and everything, he's gonna be more of like a Cho'Gath where he's gonna run in and CC and set up for more initiates. Like he's gonna set up for like a Morgana ult or like an Ahri charm in the lane. So
Yeah, that's a really good insight on it. So I went over his ultimate. We've went over 3 of his abilities now. Counting his passive, that's 4. So
No.
ability.
Oh yeah.
We got one more. So this one's kind of weird. It's a ground ability, like kind of has like a little ghostly particle effects at the bottom of it. It's a AoE, kind of actually got a pretty huge range, 575. It's pretty good. It's a magic damage ability, has another really good AP ratio, 0.8 over 4 seconds, and it also gives him a heal return on the ability depending on how much damage he does, but it does cap on minions. So that may not mean that it's one of the abilities you want to start with in jungle. You may just see the cleave first. Your thoughts, guys?
Well, the range is retarded because it's like Shyvana Sejuani's like W, which is like that is next to you, but the range is a lot bigger, and it heals you. So I think it's gonna be really decent. Like adding to Rampage, he's gonna clear so fast with these 2 abilities.
Yeah.
Actually, this sounds like really fucking amazing ability. Cause like if you look at it, 30% of the damage these enemies take from any source. So imagine this: like you're 40% of team fight, you're like tanking the enemy team. All of a sudden, you use your Spirit of the Dead, and your team AOE's them like a brand pillar or something, and you've just healed for like all your health back.
So it's kind of like Vlad ult. Anyone who's like
Yeah.
touch with it, they kind of
Like all of a
fall.
sudden you just get this huge burst of heal when your team AoEs them. So like I don't know. It seems like he's gonna be really tanky thanks to this ability. I don't know what the cooldown is on it though. It doesn't say, but it's got like ridiculous like mana cost. This guy's mana costs are like ridiculously low. 50 mana at level 1,
Yeah.
25 mana on Rampage, 100 mana on. Oh, that's his ultimate. 60 mana on his charge. Like he's gonna be really efficient jungling, and I feel like he's gonna have really good ganks.
Yeah, his mana. I don't even see like. I honestly, as a jungler, like I jungle occasionally a lot. It's like my second favorite role. I think you could actually give your first blue to your AP mid if you really needed to.
Well, no, but that like the first blue is not even like it's not even for the blue. It's like you use it for other stuff as well. You need like the XP and all that shit. But yeah,
That's true.
I do feel that he's gonna be a really decent jungler. I have to play him and see. But I think he's gonna be one of those guys where you just want to kind of like ambush them from behind and be like, oh, I run at you.
Yeah. He definitely can be an assassin. His kit does sound like one. If you catch an AD carry, it sounds like.
I think he's gonna be more like the tank because with his W, he's just gonna heal up so much. Like he just wants to be in the fight.
In the middle of a fight, getting all the damage, getting healed from Spirit of Dead. And once he gets in there, like he's gonna be dealing huge damage with Rampage and just be pretty hard to kill with Spirit of Dead. I don't know.
That's why I will definitely play him top at least once and see.
I think that's a double bundle for this guy. I don't know if you guys seen the skins yet, but they look pretty sick.
Yeah, they're quite nice.
I mean, I'm too poor for skins anyway, but whatever.
Okay, so I thought we'd move on since, we have Storm, Kick, whatever he wants to go by. He's kind of an AP player. I want to feel your insight on the runes first, since I think that's kind of a big idea.
Let me go find them. Here we go.
So basically what they did was they nerfed the magic resist runes, all of them, all the tiers and all the Halloween, like the 2.5 tiers, they're all going to go down a little bit. And instead they're going to raise all the blue ability power ones and magic pen runes and quints. And the reason they did that
too, yeah.
All the magic resists are going down, all the magic pen and ability power are going up for blues and quints and reds, I think. There's so many. And even the hybrid ones too are going up. So basically like it's gonna make bursters like Xerath, Victor, Vigar,
LeBlanc,
Brand, all these LeBlanc, they're all gonna be a bit more viable now because people traditionally to counter these champions you would just run a full blue MR page. You'd have 13 MR level 1 and you'd be able to trade with them and like that's why they weren't seeing that much. Yeah, like you can ignore most of their damage. Like they can't kill you. And when these heroes like LeBlanc can't kill you from 100 to 0, they're basically useless. So that's why you're seeing a lot more Rise, Cassiopeia.
The sustained damage mages.
Yeah, the sustained damage mages. So I don't know. It's good for me. I really like it because I play a lot of Victor and this is looking really good.
Yep.
I don't know if we're still gonna see flat blues, but definitely.
Do you think APs could run per level now instead of the flat, or do you think the flat is like what really made them extremely good in lane for the AP mids?
I don't think many people ran flat blues, so it's not that big of a deal, but people definitely ran AP per level blues. And
no, I'm talking about like magic resist per level. Sorry, man. Like magic resist per level and AP mid blue. They didn't nerf those.
No. I don't know. APs don't really get magic per level anyway. Magic resist per level. Most people just get flat magic resist because AP is all about the laning phase, basically.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel, Nihilius? Like not biased point of view, like from like the bruiser point of view, the AD carry, jungle who lose that flat magic.
I'm gonna have kind of harder laning matchups against cannons who want to burst me. Well, I don't know actually. It's not gonna affect it that much. Like, I do like my flat magic resist against the burst casters. Like, where I just stack magic resist and ignore everything and be like, I don't care. But now they're gonna be like a bit harder to deal with, and well, it's like Kick said, they're a bit more viable now.
It's gonna add more versatility.
Yeah.
And add more champions are gonna be more viable.
It was a smart thing for Riot to do, I think.
Are we gonna see Lulu in tournaments now?
Oh yeah.
We already saw Lulu in tournaments, to be honest. But
Definitely
yes.
Gonna see a lot more champions.
So
It's
PK,
also
how do you feel like about him too? Sorry, like I feel like we skipped out on the last ability.
It's okay. I think Galio's going to be played a little bit less, but not too much, and lane aggression's going to like heighten. But I
Yeah.
also think that build versatility will start. Like, to be honest, when I'm playing Ziggs, I sometimes even like if I'm playing against LeBlanc, I'll go an early Chalice just to like lower her burst, just because like then
Yeah.
she has to go roam. But I also think build versatility will now heighten, like early game build versatility, rather than people just building straight damage on APs.
So is triple Doran still gonna be the bet? You think, or
Well, actually,
they nerfed Doran.
exactly. I was about to say that. They nerfed the health endurance.
We'll hit on that now. Okay, so that's already been put out there. So the next patch, the health on the Doran's rings and the Doran blade are going to be nerfed by 20 HP. So you're gonna head in the lane with about 80 HP, and from the Doran's ring, Doran's blade. How do you feel about that? Since we already touched on that topic. Sorry,
They
interrupting.
actually did not nerf Doran's shield, which is actually good because nobody runs that. So we might see some more Doran shield top lanes, maybe. I don't know. Probably not gonna see. Probably, I don't know. It's gonna add more incentive to build catalysts instead of stacking Doran rings. I actually like stacking Doran rings instead of getting catalysts, but it's gonna add more options for you if you're a middle laner. It's gonna help out like tankier mids, and it's gonna make the game a little bit more aggressive if you're the kind of mage who gets Doran rings, because you're gonna be lower health, and like the enemy mage is gonna look at you and try and kill you maybe when you're a bit less tankier.
Yeah.
So it's
So
gonna add
like,
more lane aggression basically.
what about 80 carries? Like, do you think 80s will go for like a triple Doran's blade or like Wriggles double Dorans into like PD?
Actually, I haven't thought about that. That's true. Like, we might slowly start seeing something different from like stacking Doran's blades. Cause like,
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, I wasn't going to say anything. It's just that, like now there's stereotypical. It's like either there are two builds. Like either get two Dorans, one rig, one Vamp Scepter into IE, and then buy Phantom Dancer, or like three Dorans, Regals, Phantom Dancer. So like, you might see some versatility there as well.
So do you think that executioners like that we've seen now executioners hasn't been touched like practice now? Like I'm trying to say I'm a huge fan of the item. It's hard for me to like not pass it by. No one's been running it.
Yeah.
I like
Hey, double lift run it. Double lift run it on IPL. We called it Decade. You said that. Well, I don't know. I played with it a bit against Soraka. It's like it has a 20-second cooldown on the debuff. So every time you want to trade with Soraka Graves, for example, and you have that Executioner's call, and you just pop the Executioners, harass them, and Soraka doesn't heal him basically. So it's like free harass. I think it's
Yeah, you can get pretty good uptime on it too, because it lasts a while to the debuff.
yeah.
A really short cooldown. You can get
it's
I
always
don't know
up
the exact
to the
numbers. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it
know if you've read it, okay. Like I don't know if you've like touched executioners yet, or even like had your hands on the item yet, or even like looked at it lately. How do you feel about it? Like how do you feel like the Doran's blade in there?
Me?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It will definitely like, I don't know. I don't really see as much of a change because 80s like can build really extremely versatile. Like I don't think triple Dorans will be like as like much of a like popular, but after the like the lifesteal nerf, I still think Doran's blade will still be like a really cost-effective item. But I think like they're gonna start building quicker instead of like going triple Dorans.
Yeah. And Doran's blade jungle too. Like we forgot about like jungle Twitch. Lee Sin sometimes they run like the triple Doran's blades and jungles and may get a Wriggles or may go for early Aegis Legion or Phage. So that may change.
I still think they're really good items though. I still think I'll still get Doran rings. I think, even though I'll be a little less tankier, but there's still a fantastic item for the price. Like you can't get any better than Doran's.
Well, yeah. To be honest, like it's only 20 health, but like I don't know.
It's only 20 health.
Yeah, we'll see.
But still, if you get 3 of them, that's like 60 health, which is almost another Doran right now. It's pretty.
All right.
I don't know. It's pretty.
So
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna
It's an okay
head
nerf.
to the kind of same kind of health because we're seeing a lot of tanky DPS changes right now. Especially we're having an Atma's nerf too.
No.
We're having it nerfed by 0.5%. I know that's driving you guys crazy. That 0.5% is just going to change everything, but I just feel like it needs to be touched on a little bit. Do you think that now Riot is like going like, look, even after the IPL killing spree, we saw that super carries were the thing. You know, we saw a lot of like Kog'Maw picks and stuff like that, but we still feel that tanky DPS is too strong.
Well, if you think about it, they cut the Atmos Impaler's damage by like 1/4. Well, not 1/4, but by they cut it by like they cut it by 0.5%, which is gonna be like I guess like 10.
25%.
Yeah, it is 1/4. Like I said, it's gonna be like I guess like in average you get the more like between 60 and 80 damage from Atmos Impalers from what I've seen. Like, well, no, it was between 40 and 80. Yeah, it was 40 and 60 or something. I don't remember the exact numbers. I got it once after I built. Yeah. So in any case, but it's gonna cut down its damage by quite a bit. People might start doing something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like this nerf. A couple of patches ago, I think they nerfed Warmog's armor,
Yeah.
so it gave you less maximum health. Now, to follow it up, they're just kicking them again, like Bruiser's top lane by nerfing Atmas. A lot of people were getting mad about this on the forum. I saw like a post by Hashin.
Oh yeah, I read that. Like he had like a huge like
He
whole
was
like
like
one
flame.
thing.
He was like real mad.
I,
I don't know. I don't like this change. I don't think Atmas like gives you. You don't build Atmas for like damage. You follow it up. You get a Warmogs, then you get Atmas, so you do some things. You just get a Warmogs, you're useless.
pretty much.
So
I think
like,
we honestly may see more Mallet Rush on it. Honestly, like,
Yeah, right now, people have actually like
I think yeah,
If-
definitely.
people right now it's like already built at like I think right now it's like from Warmog's Atmos it's going to go to from Malice Atmos to like that 10 15 80 attack damage you get from Mallet is going to be what you're going to miss from your Atmos basically.
slow.
Yeah.
Slow. Slow's nice.
Oh, the slow is so painful.
It's-
Hate that.
But and also along another couple items to nerf. This is also I guess hitting the tank DPS. Actually, Hex Drinker got buffed. My bad on that part. And Wits End recipe cost got increased. So we have one MR item being buffed, which is kind of like the more early game item. Now it's been changed since they added the Maw. And then we have Wits End, which is kind of really popular against the junglers. Like a lot of junglers, those sometimes are like Shyvana. I know. Nihilius loves that Shyvana fight, so I know he's feeling the hurt for that 100 gold right there.
that 100 gold is going to set me back.
Not bad.
Well, basically, like I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna vote for you, mid. I'm just gonna save those 2 votes for my wits end. No, I'm joking, but I don't know. Like,
Do you think Hex Drinker is a more viable choice?
well, Hexaker, especially with Mo now, it's been like the perfect counter to double casters, like double AP. Like you just build more of Mortius, and you're just like set. You don't care about anything in a team fight. Well, you do, but.
Yeah.
I think like the 3 to 5 seconds will have like an effect because most of the times that you see Hex Drinker, it actually you don't die. It gets the time out. Like the time runs out.
I think it's an amazing item now. I think it's one of like the more solid. Like if you want to run Olaf top lane and like running like double AP and then put him at full top lane, you pretty much just destroy him afterwards. That magic shield is devastating.
Yeah.
It really is. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I like the Wits nerf. Hexdrinker buff is like okay, but the real thing is the Wits nerf. That item was really strong. Like you get into mid game and you have 120 MR on a like jungler. You get Mercury's and you get Wits and you have 120 MR and you're untouchable to the AP mid. It's really annoying. And it gave it a lot of damage too. Like I think 2,150 is a really good item cost. It's still going to be a great item. I think people are still going to get it regardless of the nerf. I don't think it's changed too much.
Well, it's definitely like definitely.
It's still stat effective.
Yeah, it's like everyone's. What?
We got the magic pin buffs. We've got the magic resist nerfs. We've got the item buffs with some magic resist items. So I'm thinking like, for my opinion at least, like looking at all this stuff, I'm also like kind of looking at the champions who are being buffed right now and some that have been kind of like mentioned. They're really shooting for like making AP more viable, I guess, like mid game, early game, so they have like more of an impact on the game. Because I feel personally like once you get in the late game, APs are kind of less focused on and they're not as good. And now with the magic resist stack, it's really hard to make an impact on the game. I don't know how you feel. I don't know how you feel about that character.
Yeah, it's definitely nice for AP mids. Like I said, bursters are going to be a lot more. You're going to see a lot more bursters. Not so much sustained damage, I think. Probably going to be seeing a lot more bursters. Brand, Cass, or not Cass, Cassadin, Victor, Vicar, those kind of things.
So we've pretty much covered like the general stuff. We've covered the runes. We've covered like the item buffs, nerfs. We've covered the new champion coming out, which I think was kind of the highlight of this patch. And let's move on kind of like some of the minor stuff. My first thing I'm gonna have to name off. I'm sorry, as a support player, it's the first thing that's coming to mind. Kale buff, the Kale heal buff, and the Moose buff.
Oh man.
Wait, there you.
Kale.
Okay.
So I kind of want to hear a little bit of everyone from like Kale because I know a lot of people don't really have much experience, don't really touch it that much. So it's good to hear insight from like all the players. So
Well,
yeah, you want to start?
well, okay, PK, you go ahead.
Her mana costs were kind of outdated. Like she's a very old champion, and like with the new supports, well, not new supports, but like with the supports being changed a lot, she was kind of untouched. And so I think like they're finally like they're trying to remove the power creep meta where like the old champions don't get touched on versus the newer ones that like they just pump out newer champions. So like I'm glad to see that her mana costs are finally getting like normalized with the current champion roster. But I think personally like movement speed buff is like really it's gonna be really good. Like the fact that they're increasing it by 7% as well, so increasing by half a second. So like I I think support Kale and like it's gonna make her a lot more versatile.
Yeah. So Nihilius, what are your thoughts?
Well, for like we've been practicing with her. Like if you don't know, like Team Rates has been practicing with Kale a bit as support. I don't know if you know that, Decade.
Robbed me.
Oh yeah, never
Gave
knew.
it up.
This
Gave it away.
Yeah, so like even before support Kale does provide quite a bit if you play the matchup properly. Like she's not a terrible hero, and then like if you have the right team comp after level 6, you can. I'm not gonna say anything, but it becomes really decent. Like, and now, see, it's just like it's like PK say, they normalized a bit. She heals a tiny bit more. She has a bit more mana cost but the movement speed. Oh my god, that movement speed is gonna be so nice. I think, you know, imagine having Kale in the Centaur, extra movement speed for the win. Okay, kick.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
Kick,
a
how do
good
you feel
it's
about
a good
that?
buff for Kale. She's definitely you're definitely gonna feel that buff if you play Kale. As for Kale as a champion, I think she's really underrated. She can be played pretty much anywhere, jungle, top, mid, not really mid, but support and bottom AD. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Hmm.
Okay. So I think right here I'm just gonna split off from this and we'll move on more to the APs because we've seen a lot of AP changes. We're having mana cost reduced for command attack on Oriana. We're having the Swain buff, and then we're having a Ziggs nerf on his Hexplosive Minefield, and then the Chrono Shift buff, which I could see as like more of a support buff if anything, but a
Yeah.
lot of PvPs really do like the Chrono Shift time work thing.
Well, I think last patch they nerfed the blue buff, so it now only restores 1% of your maximum mana instead of 2%, I think. Or is it 0.5 from 1%?
It's like
Something
one.
like
I think
that.
it's like 1.5. I think it's 1.5.
They nerfed it anyway. They nerfed it pretty significantly, and you could definitely feel it if you played AP mid. So I think for the Oriana, like the really mana hungry AP mids like Swain and Oriana are definitely gonna be a bit happier now, but I still think they're gonna be running out of mana if they spam their abilities a lot. I think, yeah.
Do you feel like any of these champions are like more viable, less viable? Do you feel like Swain's like a better pick now, like the Zillion pick or the Oriana or anything like that? Like, because these
Uh,
are mages that you don't really see that often anyway, like Ziggs, Zillion,
yeah.
Oriana. Like, they're not really seen that often.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get more diversity up here, which I think is like pretty much going with the rest of the patch. You're going to be seeing a lot more of these champions probably if you are an Oriana player or a Swain player. Um, they're going to have more mana to use their spells basically, which they really depend on their mana. Like these two champions, basically Oriana and Swain, they're really mana hungry in lane, and now they're
Yeah.
be able to use more spells, I guess.
Yeah, I especially agree with you on that. I mean, we all know Kick. If you guys don't know Kick that well, he's a 2K AP player, so that's kind of your insight from a high elo player on what's coming from the APs, what we're gonna see. Maybe we'll see like a rise on more like burst AP mages, or maybe some sleepers coming out from this patch. Who's to say? So I think that pretty much covers like the APs. I think that's all really needs to be said. We just had some minor mana buffs, some nerfs to like some slow duration or the duration of the abilities on
Well,
certain champions.
all I have to say is one thing. I've been calling this. They will slowly buff Sejuani. You see, the buffs have already started, slowly but surely.
I think
What?
she needs a lot more than that.
Yeah, I know, but one step at a time. They're gonna buff her, cause she's
Okay,
like so too weak. Okay.
So Nihilius just blurting that last one out. There goes one of them we had to go over. So there's one. So we have the mana cost reduction on Arctic Assault for Sejuani. So that's going to help. A little bit of a buff. And the final two that are kind of confusing to me and a little hard to read on is the base health per level increase. Base health increase on Akali, base armor increase, and then the Janna Monsoon buff on mana cost. Those are both weird for me. I don't really understand that all.
Well, Akali, I kind of can understand. Yeah, because Akali usually goes top lane against bruisers who are like let's say Renekton. Let's say most of top lanes is dominated by AD bruisers. So they're like because Akali was a popular champion once. They're like they're just trying to re-enter her into the competitive play, I guess, by buffing her
Problem with
slightly.
Akali is she's still a really good hero, but the problem is she has to
item
get to
fair.
level 6, like, and increasing her base health will definitely help her in the laning phase
Yeah.
and getting to that point where she can actually like duel people. That's always been Akali's like problem, is like she has to survive until she gets levels, and it's a nice little buff to her
Yeah.
early game and help her survive, I think.
Okay.
Well,
And
well, the Janna,
what else?
I don't
I don't know
know.
about the Janna buff though. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I,
don't know why they buffed her. Like she's like probably the best support.
I
I
think it's the
guess.
best game, the best, in my
yeah.
opinion.
I don't know. To be fair though, her mana cost was like outrageously high before, like 200 mana level 1. The only one who had like mana cost on her ultimate like that was like Zillion, which she took down this patch as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah.
they toned it big time down. Like from now
Yeah.
from all levels, it's now like severely reduced. 125 at level 1 on Chrono
I
Shift.
still hate her ultimate. I think it's so annoying. I think it's so good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. At least she's able to use it more now.
And PK, how do you feel about the Janna mana cost nerf? How do you feel it's going to affect the lane, the team fights? What do you think, man?
It's gonna make Jaina be able to like save people from ganked even if she's at lower mana, because like in lane once she hits 6, it's if you try to gank her, it's basically a thrown gank if she's actually a good Jaina.
Yeah.
And now she can actually do it at lower mana, which will kind of be. I expect to see more I expect to see like a few Jaina nerfs coming up now because like they're buffing her for no reason. I think it's probably the power creep thing, whereas in like she's an old champion, her mana costs were kind of out of date, but like she's still really strong. So
They nerfed a lot of her, the Howling Gale and the Tornado thing. They nerfed like they kind of messed around with. I think when they messed with the models a little bit, and they increased they reduced
the size of Howling Gale.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
to be all honest, like these patch notes, like this patch, not a lot of things were happening. To be honest, like the patches on the champions weren't that big. Like, but
I think it's just because of PAX, to be honest.
I,
Like it's PAX with IPL that kind of set back on anything.
I think like
I think this is a setup for the Bears patch. I'm gonna
yeah.
we're gonna see. I think we'll see a lot of stuff in Bears patch.
Yeah, because they did talk about the Teemo buffs and all that, so we'll definitely be looking forward to the virus patch. Oh,
I think the last thing I kind of want to cover is before we get on out of here, let's talk about, are we going to see any new team comps from this? Are we going to see like more like different compositions? What do you think? What do you think it's going to be run mid? What's going to be run top as a result of all these changes?
If I could start, I think Hecarim's going to be used in a Zerg comp, like a really good Zerg comp, like probably like because if you can initiate, like if you have like a Shrill, because it looks like he can build tanky or AP, and he can just get a Shirelias and then initiate onto them with Onslaught, and then just set up for other AoE birth, like AoE like Zergs. Like if you run like a Sivir bot in case you don't want to get like Shirelias.
Yeah.
But like Kennen, like top, Kennen mid, like Malphite jungle, just like all that AoE. I think he'll be better than. I think he'll kind of like. He kind of looks like. He looks like a better Sejuani in my opinion.
I would definitely say that.
Like Nautilus, they introduced Nautilus. I was like, man, looks like Sejuani got another clone. Like Leona got another clone for the jungle. Like I just keep seeing all these new like supportist kind of tank junglers. It's like, why isn't Sejuani feeling any of this love, man? She's just falling farther and farther behind the jungle she is.
But like, if in like a good team comp, I like think Sejuani is like probably one of the best. But like, it has to be there. It's just like team comp.
Oh,
Yeah.
the thing with Sejuani though is like her first clear is just so slow and so painful that you can, if you have any aggressive junglers, you will die in the jungle. Like, it's quite devastating. So you'll have.
Yeah, it is. Because I know Nihilius loves jungle Sejuani.
I love her, but
She's not viable right now.
let me put it this way. I'll put it this way. You have better luck running Sejuani AP mid rather than the jungle, which I have done in the past. It's quite troll and fun, but no, I'm joking, obviously. Like, after your first clear, like, she clears jungle insanely fast, like level 4 to 5. She picks up really fast, but your first clear is just...
And she can build pure support, so she shouldn't really need damage.
Yeah.
So that helps you.
And like with the current meta of like fast counter junglers, I think it makes her even less viable.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you think, Kick, on the
I
new
don't like
comp?
Sejuani. I really like Hecarim though. I think he's gonna be a really interesting hero. We're probably gonna see a lot of him. Yeah.
Or you think
I
Zerg
really don't like Sejuani
Hey.
though. Yeah, he's gonna be really good for he's gonna initiate, which is always gonna jungler. He's kind of I guess he's gonna be kind of similar to
Shyvana.
who like initiate, run in there, get in the middle of a fight.
I think it's like a better version of Shyvana, because, you know, Shyvana
I don't know, like
runs up to people, but
Well,
doesn't do a lot.
Shyvana, like, it's not it's
Yeah.
not a big difference.
Yeah.
yeah, like that's how I feel. I still feel the Zerg comps are the strongest right now, and honestly, even with the Doran's Blade nerf, if we see the AD carry snowball bottom lane, and then we have these huge Zerg comps that just basically defend the AD carry by just running up to theirs and basically pulling them out of completely out of the team fight, then we're just gonna see an AD predominant meta, just like back in the old days when ADs were mid. Like Kog'Maw mid was just unstoppable, which Kog'Maw again now is one of the top ADs in the game.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No? Yeah.
I kind of still think that like if people like still try like start running Zergs again, we're gonna see more like disengaged comps then, like disengaged poke.
Like that's why I think the Janet ban is good.
Yeah, I will kind of quote double here. It's like, it's kind of from tournament to tournament. Like, one tournament, Kog'Maw was really, everybody was playing Kog'Maw. So the next tournament, the W was saying the counter to Kog'Maw is Corki. So the next tournament, everybody was playing Corki. So, you know, it's kind of the same deal in a sense. So
This is the first time we've seen him kind of be picked up since I Am New York, in my opinion, in a major tournament. Like he was
who?
I Am New York.
Which champion though?
Kog'Maw.
Oh yeah.
He was really popular there.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just disappeared from the competitive scene a little bit, and then he like started to get, then he picked up really fast at IPL4 after
Yeah.
Corki got at Hanover.
Pretty sure that's because we were seeing like a rise in like support heroes going mid, like Soraka, Lulu. Like,
Oh god.
that's probably, I think that's kind of what prompted it, because then you're seeing all these like protect the
Like
Kog'Maw
Dignitas.
comps.
Like Dignitas.
Yeah.
They ran like the protect. They ran like 3 supports. Like this
Three
is like
supports in the Kog'Maw.
this reminds me of like the really old meta. I don't know if you guys are around like back like pre-season 1, like really early in the game when Ezreal's Essence Flux used to heal. Like you
Yeah.
see like 3 support champions all on one team, and like you'd have Ezreal be healing, still dealing out DPS. It'd just be stupid.
AP
Like
Ezreal.
you couldn't do anything with these comps.
Those were the
I
good
think
old
it's coming back.
days. And Eve could stun. And
Well,
He could stun for 3 seconds.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us guys. For the first time Dirtnap patch analysis, I think it went pretty well. Thank you guys for the insight, and I think Nihilius is gonna close this one out. So
What?
well,
I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna close it. What? I don't. What?
cut the stream. Okay, cut the stream.
Okay, I'm gonna cut the stream. Okay.
All right. So let's say bye to everyone. All right. Bye, fellow Dirtnappers.